Warning: the voices heard in this video are made synthetically using artificial intelligence. Nothing in this video reflects anything actually stated by the real-life individuals involved. This video is for entertainment purposes only, and serious political content will be avoided for that purpose. Enjoy.
All right, viewers, welcome to President's Play Dragon Age 2 Remastered. We are finally starting things off right with a warrior Femme Hawk. And Meryl Lover with Bethany by our side. Congratulations to the secret popularity poll that predicted it.
Aha, I fucking told you Obama pay up.
Bro, I told you this wasn't going to work.
Oh, hey guys, I thought you were getting some snack wraps and fries for our game night.
Yeah, Joe, we told you that. But Donald just door-dashed it instead because he made a bet you would do something sus when left alone with the game. But I told him you've grown since Origins. Looks like I was wrong though, and now you owe me 50 bucks.
Another donation to the base. Josie votes, good work, being predictable, sleepy. Now go ahead and log out and let Obama take over.
Wait, hang on, Donald. Let me play a few hours for the viewers. And I promise to have some Femme Hawk and Isabella action.
And they'll run out of ducks.
Donald, why are you pausing? Help me get the mouse from him.
Shut up, I am visualizing.
Okay, well, we will consider whatever the hell that Gooner Fuel was an intro. But welcome to our last episode of Dragon Age 2 viewers. And not to make too many puns, but we are going out with a bang. We just have 3 small errands to take care of first.
Oh, so it's okay for you to flirt with your noble boyfriend? But when I want to see some Femme Hawk action, I am the problem.
I already told you I am done with Bran, and that way, Joe, I am talking to him for some final setup since this is relevant to our final choice in Dragon Age 2. Bran here has the only insight into how we can end the lack of a Viscount in Kirkwall, a plot point that doesn't really get as addressed as it should, essentially because of the Templars' history of being the occupying force in Kirkwall and the heavy Orlesian influence of the city. The only way anyone is getting elected as Viscount is through the Templars' support.
Hell yes, that's what I love to hear, more reason to glaze the paladins.
Do the words political maelstrom mean anything to you?
Also, that political maelstrom line is another reference to Mass Effect 2, where Udina says, do the words political shitstorm mean anything to you?
Just another reason that siding with the base Templars is the correct choice. Not only do we curb mages, but we get to rule the city that we have been protecting for the last 7 years. We even get an achievement for it.
Because that doesn't scream political corruption, right? Like even Bran has to tiptoe around the fact that Templars rule the city even when Dumar was in charge. Because there is supposed to be a separation of church and state.
Sleepy, you know firsthand there's never a separation of church and state in the real world, unless you're the mayor of New Russia. Oh, sorry, I mean New York.
All right, and that is about as far into the political content spectrum that I will go into today. Instead, let's focus on some more Dragon Age politics, like what happened to the former Viscount before Dumar.
Oh yeah, wasn't that the dude whose finger was given to Dumar by Meredith to keep him in line?
The very same, yes. There's more political corruption than what I let on when I revealed that story. The former Viscount Perrin was trying to start a trade war with Orlais, prohibiting most Orlesian ships from coming in without paying exorbitant fees. Obviously, this upset Orlais, including the Divine, before Victoria, so she ordered the Templars in Kirkwall to force the Viscount to open trade routes again. And he responded by trying to expel the order. This is how Meredith took control of the order as the Knight Commander before her was executed in a city guard raid at the Gallows. Also, one last blemish on neutral Elthena's record, she was in full support of the Templars overthrowing the Viscount, and she promoted Meredith to Knight Commander herself after the insurrection.
So basically, this Viscount clearly fucked up his grind set in his business dealings. He should have tariffed the French and used the increased kickbacks in local Kirkwall goods from the Merchants Guild to bribe the Templars to stay in line.
Donald, what is your hard on with tariffs? Didn't you watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yes, accepting bribes the staple of any paladin order, and yet you get pissed at George when he makes you an Oathbreaker paladin.
All of you need to hop off. This shit is rigged like everything else.
If his death was more fresh in
Well, thanks to this detour, we now know what we need to do to get Hawk in office and make Kirkwall great again. Are we ready for the final mission now?
That was Errand 1. We have 2 more to go, though Donald, be patient. We have all episode.
God damn it, Nerdbomber, stop edging me!
Phrasing, please, Justice. We have to kill the last 3 cosplay gangs. Since me and Donald took the first 2 sets, it's time for Barry to show his moves. Looks like he's going to start with a few slaver assholes.
All right, never mind me and Justice are going to sit up in my chair here for this, because apparently these slavers didn't hear about what Hawk did to Daenerys. We should have brought my D1 hater Fenris for this fight so he can air out one more slaver group in Kirkwall.
Fenris already got all of the mage and slaver bodies he needed during your last episode. And if that isn't enough, then you can rest easy in the fact that every party member gets screen time and combat time in the finale, no matter which side we choose.
Yeah, it's a real Avengers Assemble moment for the squad. It's going to be beautiful. Anyways, am I the only one that gets tripped up by the name of these guys being Slave Hunter? I don't know, it just confuses what you're doing instead of just calling yourselves slavers.
Can't relate, Sleepy? I am positive you are the only one tripped up by that. Obviously, if you are a slave hunter, Then you want to round up slaves, which is an evil thing. I don't know why that is hard to understand.
Honestly, might be a slight case of dyslexia caused by Conditioning Joe. We often do see these units being called slavers, so our brain really wants to add the word slaver to their name, making them slaver hunter, which is a more confusing name. I never felt like that, but I am sure a few viewers have.
Speaking of conditioning, take another shot, viewers, because this map was repeated twice in Act 2 during the Quinari and Prime Suspect quests.
I'm going to just say, go ahead and take 3 shots now because the other 2 maps are repeat maps as well. Some good or bad news depending on your position. These are going to be the last shots you take in the drinking competition because the rest of the game is going to take place in the Gallows or the main streets of Kirkwall.
Damn, pour one out for the best Dragon Age drinking game invented by man. We will have to invent a new one for Inquisition. Maybe every time the Inquisitor picks up some elf fruit?
Ooh, devious work, Joe. That's perfect.
Okay, now you just want to see our viewers die. The challenge won't even be possible. We will come up with something different maybe every time we get called Inquisitor, for something by a new person. I don't know we have time to workshop it.
I'm the one that invented the first one, so no worries. I'm sure I will strike oil one more time for my favorite game in the series anyways. These guys are almost clapped up. So do you have any final bits of lore about this quest, Obama? Or are these guys as plain as most of these cosplay gangs? I see you have more notes than usual today.
Yeah, I have a few tabs here. First of all, the obvious one. This gang calls itself the Raining Men, which is a clear reference to the song It's Raining Men. This reference is supported by the final message in the quest stating that according to all sources, which is a quote from the song.
Well, hallelujah.
The second note is the fact the boss drops the weapon Woodsman's Ire, which we also get as a reward for killing all 3 of the cosplay bosses in Act 3. In fact, if you loot this boss, then turn in all 3 quests at once to the Hanged Man contact, then you can get 3 Woodsman's Ire axes. Not that you would need them since it's just an average one-handed axe.
All right, I am amazed you got through that yapping spree without mentioning the words obscure or Obama observation. Good work. Do you have any lore on this baddie Desire Demon while you're at it, Obama? Because believe me, I am standing full at attention for Hanker.
Nope, I am not touching that one. It's a Desire Demon named Hanker that's already as loot as we can get without demonetization. The only interesting facts I can give you is about the loot she drops. She drops a shield called Lord-Bearing's Wall, which is a clear pun of a load-bearing wall. The more interesting loot she has is the Cardus left-hand dagger, which is one piece of a set of daggers created by Barat himself from the dwarf commoner origin. The right dagger was given to his right-hand Jarvia, pun intended there, and is sold by Bonnie Lem in Act 3, while the left-hand dagger was given to Karshal, his other lieutenant, who survived POTUS's massacre in Dusttown and brought the Carta north to Kirkwall. The fact the Desire Demon has it means Karshal likely ran into Hanker and became a mindless member of her cult, while Ratigan from Legacy likely took over the rest of the Carta in his absence.
No wonder we barely see the Carta after 2. POTUS cut off the head while Hawk started stomping on the remaining body parts. Well, any other interesting lore points on the cosplay groups you want to get out of the way, Barry, while we are just dominating these fights?
No, the Blood Draggers don't have any interesting weapons. For lore, they just seem to be a blood magic gang. So with all the interesting information out of the way, we can get into our first featured comments from last episode to highlight our goated community. Donald, do you want to go first?
Gladly, Obama. I have a few based viewers here who sided with my choice of the Legacy DLC being peak, both because of the Corypheus lore reveal and because of my amazing performance in the largest dungeon in Dragon Age. So thank you to Nothing to See Here, Praetor Steel, and Dragon King Mark for your based legacy appreciation, especially to you, Dragon King, for being an active member of our Discord, which you should all join, by the way, link in the description.
All right, I'll go next with some appreciation for the other DLC special episode, Mark of the Assassin. We are glad so many of the community loved these episodes because we spent the most time on them, just trying to make things peak for you. So thank you to Camp Comedy and Aggro 3810 who appreciated the Dr. Horrible songs that I sang to my cutie Talus. Out of sheer love and devotion, get ready for plenty of bardic notes left in Inquisition. And the end of this episode too, if you know what I mean. And hell, if you guys make my singing blow up my editor, might even release a playlist or something, so keep up the goated support. And I hope you all enjoy the series finale. We have some real bangers ahead.
All right, thank you, boys. Looks like we still have plenty of cosplay bandits to kill in this last fight, so why don't we cover one more for now? Don't worry, viewers, we still have plenty of shout-outs to do. You guys really made the comments blow up last episode. Thank you to Bram7174, who appreciated the DLC episodes from the extra lore yaps I gave, as well as the Corypheus and Themia interactions, which only Joe really knows what was said. But we still appreciate the base support all the same. Just remember, a super thanks is appreciated, but never required comments just like this one go a long way to supporting this series, which is why we want to shout you guys out as much as possible. We truly couldn't do any of this without you.
All right, enough of the glaze, Obama. We only have so much grease to go around for the viewers. Why the hell are we still killing these dudes? We should have been done like 3 minutes ago. I want to get to the finale already. and show the viewers my new blood mage curb stomping techniques.
Well, we are almost done here, so it's best if we get into why we have done every single cosplay gang quest throughout the series. The contact we have been getting payment from all game is revealed to be a friend of Red Jenny, an organization we originally met in Denerim in Origins and will have a major role to play in Inquisition thanks to a certain companion.
I take my leave. Enjoy, champion. Courtesy of the Friends of Red Jenny.
All right, cool. The Dragon Age Robin Hood has been yapped about now. Are we ready? Vengeance and me are getting antsy, and I don't like that feeling.
Just one more conversation to get through, and you're going to like this one, Donald. It has to do with the fate of Sandal and Bodan.
Oh, wait, never mind. I'm locked in again.
It's too bad we never actually see them in Orlais when we reach there in Inquisition. Don't get me wrong, Dagna's the GOAT. And incredibly satisfying based on our choices, but both these guys felt like such a grounding force in the Dragon Age series like Joker or Dr. Chakwas and Mass Effect.
All right, I hate to say it, but between the Empress recruiting Mommy Morrigan and now our young Lord Sandal, the Empress has incredible taste. I may have to even reconsider my stance on the fantasy French after this one, boys. If she hires out POTUS for security, I am straight up defecting at this point.
It sounds like the Empress decision in Inquisition is going to be interesting, boys. It's sad we aren't going to hear about either Bodan or Sandal's fate in the future games besides one reference in Trespasser. But I like to think Sandal has a high-ranking position in the Orlesian court and helped turn the tables on the Venatori invasion during the events of Velgard. As for Bodan, well, I imagine he finally settled down with his wife in Orlais somewhere thanks to Sandal's renown.
Holy shit, I totally forgot about Bodan's wife and Sandal's mom. We never meet her, do we?
It's easy to forget her, being honest. She is only mentioned once you go deep enough into the enchantment mantras. But as a high-level deacon, I can attest that she is not mentioned in this game and only mentioned in passing in Origins because our Lord had her preserved in the Crossroads, which he accessed by simply touching a Morrigan mirror. And after the Mage Templar War, Bodan was sent there as well for both of his parents' comfort and safety. Praise be enchantment.
Praise be. We have one final conversation with Sandal that requires a little bit of explanation first.
Damn, Barry, are you geeking out right now? Why the hell are you ripping out all the desks and tables of all their items, Barry?
No, God damn it, it is not an onset of kleptomania, boys. There is a secret line that Sandal gives towards the end of the game, which according to Gator has a 1% chance to trigger. However, this line has a much higher chance of triggering if your quest log is completely clear besides the final last straw quest. So I am grabbing all the DLC items we never looted so that his future sight will trigger.
All of it. Everyone will be just like they were. The shadows will part, and the skies will open wide.
Huh? What's this?
When he rises, everyone will see.
Ah, yes, the Forbidden Prophecy. This is amazing, Obama. I know several viewers have been begging for this one.
This basically confirms the whole Solas prophecy and his plan to sunder the veil. Although I guess it could be about the Titans' connection to the dwarves.
He was clearly talking about himself. The young lord would never praise the egg with his prophecies. Now, with our final blessing from Sandal, it's time now to lock in and make the final choice. And unfortunately, it's one of the liberals that will make that final call.
So Meredith still smells blood magic, even though half the damn mages are already dead. And Orsino, instead of being political, is waving his arms around and arguing like a child. So basically another Tuesday in Kirkwall.
Damn, it's too bad Bill isn't here. I could really use a refill of popcorn while these two lovebirds go at it and bicker.
Mommy Meredith would never touch the balding egg unless it was to curb him. I mean, for Sandal's sake, he wields a snake staff just in case we needed a more obvious hint not to trust him.
You already made that snake staff joke during episode 9, Donald. Be careful to not reuse it.
Oh, hop off. That was like 6 episodes ago. The viewers needed a refresher about not trusting a dude who literally wields a weapon called the Staff of Violation.
I mean, your mommy isn't much better. She's wielding a damn Sith lightsaber. I swear, based on design alone, I can tell Bioware wanted us to distrust both of these guys and make picking a side like pulling teeth. Anyways, let's see if I can summarize what's going on here, boys. So Meredith thinks the mages are talking behind her back, so she started snooping through their rooms and reading their journals. Orsino doesn't want Meredith to know who he has a crush on, so he is all pissed. And now he is going to tell Mom on Meredith. Did I get all of that?
Pretty much Joe. And now, for some reason, their argument spilled out into the streets of Lowtown, which means they started in the Gallows. Took a ship ride, argued from Docktown to Lowtown. And now halfway to Hightown, they are still arguing over this. I wonder what Elfina would say to this if she was here right now.
Yeah, it's almost like this argument is one piece of a collection of straws that somebody is about to grab by the fist and light on fire. Also, can I just appreciate the emotional range on Mommy Meredith here? She actually swaps through anger, confusion, and sadness here. Meanwhile, all Orsino does is shout and get madder every sentence.
Orsino almost always seems upset and blows things out of proportion, but we know he has some political depth to him because of his speech at the start of Act 3.
Well, maybe that's just because a broken clock can still be right twice sleepy, and he just got lucky. Stop appeasing the robes, Obama. They don't deserve our pity. Last I checked, they are still guilty of blood-sacrificing maidens and Templars for power.
Not all of them are guilty of that, you McDonald's muncher.
Perfect dramatic timing, Vengeance. I wonder how long he was listening into that conversation before saying that.
Can I just appreciate how hard Meredith says mage like a slur? Also, wait a minute, why do I hear boss music?
How dare you speak to me?
Glad you could get a right hook on Orsino, but Anders, can you elaborate please on what you did? You're being sus as hell.
The time has come to act. There can be no half measures.
Anders, what have you done?
There can be no turning back.
Oh fuck, I feel something now, boys. Fuck yes, oh God, that felt so good, I feel so alive.
Make her have mercy.
Anders, what the fuck did you do?
No peace.
Hey, is anyone going to comfort my human noble brother over here? He looks like he is about to jump off the docks, and everyone else is just kind of standing around.
It's almost like we warned Elfina in excessive detail that something like this would happen, Sebastian. If it wasn't going to be the bomb, it would have been a revolutionist chopping her head off Arashok style.
Not to speak ill of the dead, but that would have been far more satisfying to see. Also, boys, are we going to talk about how wide that explosion reached past the Chantry? Like, if anyone was on the streets of Hightown at the time, I am pretty sure they died to the debris.
Sebastian is over here crying over his mom, but meanwhile Hawk and Aveline are over here panicking because their home's property values just plummeted.
Yeah, no wonder Aveline wants to side with the Templars. Anders probably took out a few guards on patrol and fucked up her house. As much as I disagree with Vengeance resorting to terrorism, and not just killing the Grand Cleric, but spreading fear throughout all of Kirkwall with a dramatic bomb. I think we have all made it clear by now that Elfina was making the situation worse by staying neutral.
Yeah, peace was never an option. Orsino lost control of most of his mages. Meredith lost more. And more of her Templars and is going more and more dangerously insane each day. We needed a Viscount, or a Grand Cleric to take action, and instead we got a Spirit of Justice to take action with terrorism.
Holy based Sebastian, my boy finally grew a backbone, hating mages and now wanting vengeance above politics. He has stepped into the path of a true human noble, a 10 out of 10 pupil of mine, boys. Let's rule the lands and curb stomp the mages together.
Okay, again, that is all my choice, Donald, not yours. But speaking of choices, we should probably start debating the sides once and for all, because thanks to Vengeance, we have reached the point of no return.
Are we actually going to discuss the only correct choice here? Because I doubt the woke mind virus will let you do that correctly, Obama. The city is going to view the mages as responsible for this. Mommy Meredith has to bring order, and the mages are going to use blood magic and sunder the veil to save themselves from her.
Sounds like Meredith is the person at fault here. Hell, she even made up a new rule about the right of annulment that didn't previously exist. In Origins, we saw that Gregor had to request the right of annulment from the Grand Cleric. And the first Enchanter could also call off the right if they were of sound mind. Now Meredith just retroactively demanded the right herself, because the Grand Cleric is dead.
I always assume with Elfina dead, Meredith takes control of the local chantry through the line of succession, like the rank goes Elfina, Knight Commander, then maybe Knight Captain. So maybe she becomes acting Grand Cleric till the Divine appoints a new one. Cassandra does mention the chantry has a line of succession at the start of Inquisition after the Conclave incident.
All right, we can debate chantry politics later. Go ahead and just tell us your predictable decision, Obama.
I guess I can just drop the pretense I am siding with the Templars in this fight.
No. Yes! Holy shit. First Paragon Sleepy Joe executes the Dalish, and now Obama defects to the base Templars. I'll stop and say it now, I fucking love Dragon Age 2.
Barry, please don't do this. The mages are innocent. And I don't want to turn on my cutie patootie or have her watch more mages die after what happened to her clan yesterday.
Don't worry, Joe. Meryl and every other companion's approval is maxed out, which means we don't lose anybody here. Let me explain why I am doing this, though I am not for Meredith or her clear bloodthirsty madness. But I hate Orsino more than I distrust Meredith at this point, and siding with the Templars is better for the content. Not only have most people not done this path, but I feel the story makes more sense during the Templar path when it comes to Orsino's and Meredith's fall. Also, we get some hidden dialogue from Orsino that I wanted to highlight.
I didn't even hear all that. I am still just bricked up at the fact we get to kill all mages. The Paragon presidents have truly dipped into renegade territory.
I don't know why you keep thinking that I am Paragon. I know I sided with the mages in Origins. But that's because Wynn, Niall, and Irving all showed that the Circle can be saved. Otherwise, I'm neutral and believe the Circle should still exist with massive reform. I always pick the more narratively satisfying option, and right now that's the Templars.
I'm glad Meryl is still with us, but I still hate everything about this. We are legit betraying our own people right now as a mage ourselves. I'm just glad Bethany isn't alive to see this, or worse, Bethany is in the Circle to feel our wrath.
Yeah, even Templar mains like myself make exceptions for Bethany, but that asshat Templar Carver can choke on a sour grape for all I care. Anyways, Obama, what are you going to do with the terrorist robe now?
I'm actually amazed Meredith leaves Anders' fate to us just like Orsino does. I guess she is so excited to kill all the mages she forgot that she's only doing it because of something Anders did.
I can't say I blame her normally, I would be too, but this shit is personal. Not only did this robe lie to our face and is a confirmed terrorist who harnessed the power of piss bombs, but he has forsaken the mercy that I gave him. Me and POTUS gave the robe a chance to do some good, and this is how he repays us. I can think of 1,000 fates that come to mind, but right now, they all are forming into one thought, and that's...
Mercy. Everybody makes mistakes, and he is only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. I mean on Anders.
Yeah, okay, Vengeance, you are definitely not a human. But nice try, though. I'm honestly torn on this decision, but I want to hear what all our companions have to say about this choice here.
Sebastian, you do not want to know what mine and most Dragon Age players' answer to that question is.
He wants to die. Kill him and be done with it.
Belief is no excuse. Sincerity does not justify this.
Looks like it's one of those rare decisions in Dragon Age 2 where the vote is almost dead even, although Varric is staying neutral since the healer robe is his friend and all.
Meryl and Isabella are united on sparing Anders, though.
In my experience, most people spare Anders here because they view it as a Sebastian versus Anders decision, and Anders is the clear favorite and more useful squad mate. Let me make it clear, I never see this as Sebastian versus Anders. Sebastian could leave right now, and I wouldn't care. But the fact that Vengeance here lied to us, killed not just Elfina but dozens more, and the fact he admits he is losing more, and more control of himself each day to justice. Killing Anders at this point is a mercy.
I know. You should have done this long ago.
Jesus Christ, I am deeply regretting playing this game with you all. First, we kill all the mages. And now we are killing our first squad mate in our series so far.
Damn, this is the first squad mate to die in our whole series. We spared Loghain and Alistair, and Justice ended up not dying in Awakening. Well, press F for the terrorist robe.
F. You can strike me down here, Obama, but just know it will only make me more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Okay, go ahead and try your best, Obi Justice 1. But back to this decision, if we don't kill Anders here, Sebastian will leave the party permanently, which is single-handedly the most annoying, and also a respectable moment for his character. He finally grows a personality and can't be talked down from leaving. But at the same time, he can't be stopped from taking the throne purely to wage war on Kirkwall, despite what other paths we may have shown him.
So just a reminder that a lot of our choices in Dragon Age 2 don't really matter, got to love it.
Sebastian is still based as hell for standing on business. I will not hear the slander of a proud mage hater. Oh, look, a singular shade sacrifice. It's so nice when the demons volunteer. Oh, God damn it, Carver, don't steal our kills.
Oh, look, Carver remembered the right armor this time. Also, Carver must have been really upset about not getting any screen time in Act 2, because I think besides the waifu, he has had the most squad mate screen time in the final act.
So the Grey Warden sibling will only appear here if you have completed the Finding Nathaniel quest in Act 3. It doesn't matter what side you pick, although both siblings will be upset with Hawk if they side with the Templars.
Which is weird to think about, since Carver has always been pretty Templar-sided, and would have joined the Templars if we didn't bring him into the deep roads. Why is he mad at us now?
This is why I don't fuck with this guy even after 2 hours in the deep roads with him. He is not a true Templar main. He just stole the class for the paladin abilities. True mage hate is through conviction, not armor.
So I assume Carver is upset because he lived a lot of his life trying to protect his two mage siblings. But now Hawk on his own is siding with the Templars, which probably just frustrates him.
I guess it's the concept of if anyone was going to make Templar decisions, it should have been me. Or maybe he thought he was joining the Templars to help Hawk and it was never about mage oppression.
Either way, I hate everything about this, but I guess it's based that he is fully drinking the Grey Warden Kool-Aid, and if he's going to help us curb the mages, I guess he can come along. I'll even try to keep him alive when you switch the controller to me.
All right, that is probably as nice as we are going to get for Carver.
Your blade would be welcome.
But that Hawk Brothers line went pretty hard, not going to lie. Let's go ahead and proceed to Docktown.
Oh wow, a group of Templars surrounding a single mage girl. I am certain nothing nefarious will happen here.
Hop off, Joe. We already killed the traitor Alric. They are just going to execute her and be home by lunch. Or at least they would if Kirkwall would ever put demon signal jammers that prevent the 2-second possessions.
I bet all the underground demons are positively bricked up at all the free real estate that just opened up in Kirkwall. Anyways, this fight plays out the same, no matter which side you pick, except if you side with the mages, you have to fight the demons and the Templars.
Yeah, I think we have done a pretty good job at highlighting that no side is fully in the right or wrong here. Gator and Hepler did their best to make it morally gray, but the mages are still more innocent than the Templars. And the phrase "not all mages" still holds pretty strong against most pro-Templar stances.
I don't know how you can say that when we get attacked by multiple blood mages, even when siding with the robes. Last I checked, at least the damn Templars stay loyal to us if we side with them, and none of them turn from their mission to curb the mages. One might even say these robes ain't loyal.
It's not the circle mages turning against us. It's either mages possessed by demons like this girl, or it might be the revolutionists who are taking advantage of the chaos.
That's a nice theory, Joe. Although I don't know if it's accurate to what is happening here, we don't get enough information to confirm that there are revolutionists in the mix, because that plot line wasn't as fleshed out as it should have been. As it is, we do have a few mages in the circle who are innocent, like Emil and a few others who surrender to the Templars or flee the city.
I mean, we have been saying this since Origins. Bioware has a clear bias towards the robes, and it's why most players side with them here and spare Anders over Sebastian, despite that being the worst possible outcome for the city of Kirkwall and Anders himself.
Oh yeah, I guess we should mention the other side of the coin. If we spare Anders, Sebastian will not only leave the party here, but we find out in Inquisition he will invade the city with his Starkhaven army and start a war in the streets that rivals the Qunari invasion. With the Templars disbanded, it is up to Aveline and her guard to repel the invasion.
Yeah, that wasn't the main reason for killing Vengeance, but it definitely is a strong motivator to do so. I just wish there was an option to stop Sebastian from invading or using the murder knife to prevent this from happening. I'm okay with him taking a stand and leaving. I'm just upset that all roads lead to Rome.
Speaking of the fall of Rome, what the hell are you cooking here, Obama? Because just like Pompeii, this kitchen is on fire. Everyone, including Hawk, is dead, and you're left with the regular Joe Templars, and you're only left with the muscle mommy against the demon horde. You're screwed here, Obama.
No, hold on. Remember, Joe finished a whole secret boss with just Varric. And Aveline let my girl lock in here. She can definitely carry. Aveline, my love, knew.
So just like every other time this has happened, Aveline cannot in fact solo the game or an entire army.
Please don't remind me. I can't believe I was stupid enough to get another goddamn death in this game during the last fight of my run, too. I am really going to have to lock in for Trespasser at this rate, because I'm really letting my fans down in Dragon Age 2.
Well, I'm ready to lock in after this section here and tie up with Obama before watching Joe get 2 more deaths and fully tying this death competition up so no one wins. I can at least be petty and hope for an anticlimactic finish so no one wins the romance wars.
Betting on me to die twice is really pushing things. I haven't died twice in an episode since episode 6. Looks like I am going to take the crown from this one, boys.
Well, it's not over till it's over. Let's not let our viewers get bored here thinking they can predict the ending before the fat lady sings.
Now that's not fair, Obama. I know Donald has been balking since the release of the McDonald's snack wrap, but I wouldn't call him a lady that's just mean-spirited.
Sleepy, you fat phobic bitch, just know that when I eliminate each and every single one of these robes during my playtime, I will be thinking of you.
Okay, boys, let's take a deep breath here. We were doing so well with the character development in this series. Let's not devolve into episode 1 bickering. Donald, you are obviously getting the best gift of all in this series, finally siding with the Templars. And Joe, while I know you're not happy about that, you did get to romance Meryl and romance Talus, and get to play the best quest in the base game with the Qunari invasion. I think you both should be looking at how half full your glasses really are.
All right, fine, whatever, Donald. I'm glad you get to kill the mages to counteract you having to watch siding with them in Origins, I guess. Sorry about bringing up the golf thing again. Sandal knows we would both get swept by Maury.
While I don't apologize for my mage hate, Sleepy, I accept your apology, and I promise to keep your mage waifu in the party for the rest of the game as a compromise for killing all the non-waifu mages.
All right, let's call that progress for now. Why don't we do some team bonding by going over a few super thanks for this episode?
Sure thing. I can even go first with the base Solus support. Thank you for the two $50 donations and the $100 donation from Solus's #1 supporter, Robert Wadsworth. You have been a massive supporter every episode since the beginning, and we really appreciate your devotion to both Solus and this series. Solus is still side by side with Josie, and as we draw into the last bit of content, before the start of Inquisition, we can tell you are going to make this competition really close. So good luck as always in the Waifu Wars.
Now it's time to shout out our frontrunner in the Waifu Wars, Josie, with plenty of base support. Celebrating our biggest wallet first, thank you to the 100 European monies from Anti-Juotazniemi. Sorry that you missed the premiere, but we appreciate you catching up and donating to the best Inquisition waifu all the same. We also have $50 from Josie's second biggest supporter, Corey Radcliffe, and thank you for the resounding vote of support against what Joe threatened to do to Mommy Isabella. It may be in the past, but it is not forgotten. We also have $20 from our resident Discord Illithid Austin, and $10 from Xavier Alvarez. Thank you to everyone for the base Josie support. It really means the world to us and for the growth of this channel, and good luck in the Waifu Wars. And I hope you all enjoy the based mage killing on screen right now.
Yeah, we are finally taking on circle mages instead of demons, which is either more thematic or more sad, depending on what side you view it at. Anyways, we have a few more based super thanks to get through. Thank you to the 275 Canadian monies from Nevermore for the base Cassandra support. She may be in third place, but she is clearly first place in my heart. Also, thank you and welcome back Joe Million with the $200 towards Cassandra as well. It's good to see you back in the comments, supporting the best romance in Cassandra. Thank you for keeping my girl competitive in the competition. Your massive support means the world as a Dragon Age creator and a Cassandra fan, and good luck as always in the Waifu Wars.
Well, with the shoutouts taken care of, we can get back to the game. Obama, this is your very last fight in Dragon Age 2. How does that make you feel?
Pretty good, but still pissed I made a stupid mistake like that and couldn't end on a high note.
Do you still think the combat of this game sucks ass compared to Origins, or like me, have you had any character growth towards the middle child of the series?
Nope, no change. My opinion from episode 1 still stands. I think Dragon Age 2 is a massive step down in terms of build cohesion and combat tactics, and we should have gone back to symmetrical style gameplay as opposed to wave combat. It feels like both Hawk and the enemies got a massive nerf, but the nerf to the player characters has felt way more. It's also some of these fights are far more tedious. I don't remember spending 10 minutes on fights in Origins. I understand the need to change the style to make this more accessible for console players, and most of my complaints go towards nightmare difficulty. I think this is the only game in the series that is more enjoyable on a lower difficulty, where you can have more freedom with your build.
Well, I still think there's a little more nuance to the game than you were giving it credit for, Barry. The magic system still has a little nuance, along with great interactions, and plenty of trees ended up getting buffs, even though they removed others almost entirely. Also, the crafting system, if anything, has been buffed with certain potions lasting an entire play session and offering permanent buffs. And the grenades are borderline overpowered during boss fights, and have saved our ass multiple times this series.
Well, with the last mage dead, that calls it for my time in Dragon Age 2. Sorry it wasn't more positive viewers. But rest assured, Dragon Age 2 is still a top-tier game. Well, now Donald, the Switch, the controller, and consequences are all given to you. Good luck.
Thank you, Obama. And looks like I get to start off good with a lone blood mage praying to the great shrine of Hawk for mercy. Not that it will do her any good time to meet your curb like the hundreds of robes before you.
Well, looks like that blood mage isn't exactly alone, Donald. She has another big army of shades. And even a pride demon out for revenge after what we did to his brother's Audacity and Hybris last episode. As if a blood mage alone doesn't give you enough trouble. Good luck, Donald.
I have no idea what you mean. I can handle all these fucks at once. Consider all these demon assholes warm-ups for the Inquisition. Back to what I was saying about the combat, though. Honestly, I just appreciate that Dragon Age 2 is the prelude to the perfect combat system of Inquisition. They revamped the crafting system perfectly. Combat feels way more refined and giving us ultimates. And the mark helps make wave combat way less tedious, in my opinion, which should be respected since Inquisition is my game. Honestly, Obama, I think you are just complaining about Dragon Age 2's combat because you severely underperformed in this game compared to your Origins debut.
Yeah, no, I am not going to acknowledge that with a response, Donald. Instead, I'd rather talk about something different, like some of the mechanics of the companion decisions of Last Straw, since besides Varric, they made it so every companion in this game can leave the party or be killed at certain moments.
I guess even when you're out of the politician game, you still know how to duck questions? But whatever, go ahead and tell us our alternative fate if we didn't play so goddamn efficiently in this game.
Right, so the 3 rogues in the party are the only neutral members in this debate, which does track. Sebastian, despite his mage hatred, isn't actually that pressed towards Hawk's choices. He seems more influenced by Hawk's opinion on the debate than anything else. So as long as you kill Anders, he will support any side, no problem. Varric is our #1 brother. and also will support Hawk regardless of choice. And Isabella will support you as long as she came back during the Arashok invasion, although she does think siding with the Templars is a bit silly.
It's the only I'll take my pirate queen has ever thought out of that gorgeous head, boys.
Every other party member, however, has a chosen side that can only be swayed if you haven't formed a deep connection with them. Eveline has an official duty to support Meredith since she is acting Viscount, but will normally choose Hawk over her. However, if you don't complete her Act 2 quest as well as don't finish her Questioning Beliefs quest in Act 3, she will leave the party if we side with the mages. If our approval is still high enough, we can ask her and any other defecting companion to join us. When we first reach the Gallows, however, if this fails, she confronts us after the Orsino fight with some other guardsmen. However, no matter what option we say to her, she will throw down her sword in anger and tell us we are even for saving her life 7 years ago in Loithering. So she never can actually die, unlike everyone else we can talk about.
All right, I will go into what happens to my cutie patootie. I'm the only one that should talk about it. So Meryl obviously wants to side with the mages, so if you don't complete her Act 3 quest and side with the Templars, she will initially leave the party to help Orsino. However, unlike the other party members which rely on approval, if Hawk makes a plea to Meryl at the Gallows, she will immediately fold and join Hawk again, saying they are her family. If you don't ask her to join, though, you will be forced to fight and kill her, and she has a pretty hard line about how fear makes men more dangerous than magic ever could, which is a top 10 line.
Finally, my boy Fenris is the hardest overall squad mate to convince to side with the mages naturally because he is a born D1 mage hater. If you side with the mages and don't have him at max friendship or rivalry and complete his Act 3 Questioning Beliefs quest, he will leave your party and join Meredith. Just like the other two, he can be asked to join back up, and if he has a decent amount of friendship or max rivalry. However, if you can't get him to join back at this point, then you will have to kill him right before you face Meredith.
There is one last companion to talk about, and it's the most niche option of the bunch. Sanders is obviously the poster boy for the Mage Rebellion, and started all of this, so normally he will defect to the mages even if you let him go when siding with the Templars. He can, however, still be swayed to side with the Templars if he has max rivalry. And his Questioning Beliefs quest is completed, then he can be persuaded to side with the Templars to atone for his crime of blowing up the Chantry.
That is pretty goddamn renegade to make Anders do that. And I imagine most people haven't seen that outcome, considering you have to side with the Templars and max out Anders' rivalry. Honestly, I am amazed we didn't pick that option, Barry. It seems to be the most unique outcome out there, despite the fact Kirkwall gets bulldozed by Sebastian, of course.
Yeah, I did think about that. It certainly would have been the most unique outcome, but from a roleplay perspective. And the fact Anders was begging for death from us, I can't really justify not answering his request to kill him, especially since he does deserve some form of justice. Besides, maybe we can utilize your abilities to still showcase the other side of the content, Joe.
Wait, what?
So wait a minute, that's all sappy and cool and whatever, but does that mean you can have a playthrough where you spare Anders, side with the Templars, have Sebastian leave, and threaten to bring an army against Kirkwall and still kill him later in the Gallows confrontation? What does that mean for Inquisition?
Well, the options in Dragon Age Keep aren't direct import saves, they are check boxes. And if you let Anders go, he always fights you at the Gallows, so if you say Anders died, then Sebastian will still be satisfied and the invasion doesn't take place.
Boy, that must have been an awkward walk back home. Also, Donald, what the hell are you doing in the kitchen now? Just like Barry, everything is on fire. There's a bunch of demons. Hawk, as well as my cutie patootie, are low on health and you're low on potions and food right now, my guy.
Hop off, Joe, and let me cook. It's not my fault the Blood Mage has Wolverine-style healing and every shade takes like an entire minute to kill. I still have plenty of grenades and health potions left. The Pride Demon is almost dead, and then when her shitty demon army is dead, I can show her how a real rogue gets things done. I'm only struggling because this fight is rigged.
Yeah, you're probably struggling because you once again forgot your priority targeting. The Blood Mage should be killed right away to avoid being hit with their draining spells. You also need to avoid the Pride Demon's swirling vortex spell, as it can trap you and leave you open to be ganged up on by the Shades, but just like the Hybris fight, you can use this to your advantage and capture plenty of the Shades into the vortex if you herd them into it.
Well, I'm a president, not a goddamn farmer, and now that I healed up our party, I'm going to cut ahead here after I am successfully bathing in the blood of my enemies.
All right, so Donald killed all the demons at the cost of the rest of the party dying, and Carter getting traumatized in the corner, but unfortunately no death yet, so he's tied with Barry at the moment.
Just like I said, Blood Mage Curb Blood is my new facial cleanser. Now let's kick the war at the Gallows into gear, boys.
Before you sail over, go ahead and check out the right corner of the champion statue. There is the 12th and final enigma of Kirkwall in the game. Viewers, if you have been following our guide, you should have reached one of the last few achievements in this game. You only need 3 out of 4 in each act.
Well, hoist the sails starboard towards the wind, because we are on a motherfucking boat, boys.
Damn straight we are. And this scene must have cost 1/4 of the animation budget, because it is sheer aura. Editor, go ahead and play some Pirates of the Caribbean for the extra flair.
I just realized how thematic the Mage-Templar War is from a storyteller's perspective. We started our journey in Kirkwall, entering the Gallows on a boat as a no-name refugee fleeing a war. And now we are approaching the Gallows 7 years later on another boat to finish a war.
Yeah, it's sort of like how the second city in Pokemon Red holds the Elite Four. And after traveling the entire Kanto region, you come back to your roots to claim that sweet, sweet champion title.
Not the game I would compare it to, but still a completely valid take boys good work. I'm sure writing purposes were the reason we are here. But the Gallows do just make sense as a battlefield considering its familiar territory for the mages and a well-fortified position away from the city. Also, Orsino, I do believe you when you say you don't want to fight Hawk. I don't think anyone wants to fight Hawk right now.
Considering the sheer threat of Hawk right now, that makes sense. I mean, hell, look, Orsino is finally trying to be diplomatic. And compromise with Meredith, it's a Christmas miracle.
The fact Meredith won't even entertain a surrender agreement at this point should be reason to at least question switching sides, since it's clear Meredith's mission isn't justice or order but revenge, because the person who blew up the Chantry is already dead. If both Hawk and Meredith tell the people that justice was done here, would anyone really question them?
Don't believe the robe, Meredith. It's a stalling tactic, nothing more. The robes have had it too good for too long, and the only cure is a hard reset. It's like plugging your computer off and on again. Sometimes you have to brute force method at the source.
Damn, you are really specific with these comparisons today, Donald. Is justice uploading these directly into your brain or something?
Stop psychoanalyzing me, Obama. I am just trying to break it down for the small percent of viewers who need a comparison not Dragon Age related. They matter too, even 18 hours into this series. Also, why the hell are you letting the mages prepare their people and wait for more Templars? The entire Hawk Squad and Meredith are right. Goddamn, here we are, all the army you need. Let's end it now.
Realistically, I know this is just an elaborate way for the game designers to say, we can't animate this many assets into one map, and we want the Orsino fight to happen somewhere more dramatic. But my lore nerd brain wants to imagine that Meredith is following some kind of Geneva Convention in Thetis that states, you have to give people prep time.
That's a nice theory, Obama. If you dig up something for that in the novels, let me know. But when it comes to the robes, the Geneva Convention is more like the Geneva Suggestions, because I am pretty sure if blood magic and demons were real, they would be at the top of the convention list.
We kind of talked over Meredith's speech, but she was kind of yapping about nothing not going to lie.
It's not like Orsino does any better, Sleepy. He just tells the robes to run away and tell a trusted adult how much the Templars curbed them. But before we do a holy paladin's work, it's time we get into the good stuff with the companion goodbyes. And since I am playing, I am going towards my pirate queen first.
That's fine with me. Just save my cutie patootie for the end so we can end with one last kiss before the end of the series. Anyways, Isabella, you might have been just a hidden sex scene when we first met you, but you developed into a fully dimensional character with a new moral compass, with a new lease on life.
I still don't regret not sleeping with you in Origins, but your backstory has some of the biggest tea in the series, and you are a based rogue through and through to our party.
Isabella, you are the best I have ever had, and you have done things to me I will never forget. I may not get you in the party again, but I will play you every time it's my episode in the Inquisition multiplayer, and hell, I will even see you again in Veilguard. I will never forget you or the night we spent together, Mommy. You are the wind behind my presidency sails, and you always make my anchor drop.
All right, a perfect innuendo to end on Donald. That's the best send-off Isabella could ask for. Now on to Sebastian. My opinion is still you're the worst DLC companion Bioware has ever made, but your final confrontation with Anders and Hawk is pretty based. And I'm still glad Donald gave you some equal screen time.
Have fun in Starkhaven. I'm glad you found a pastime that isn't Elthina Glaze Big Dog. I don't really have anything kind to say, so let's just say I look forward to working with you in the future.
Sebastian, consider yourself the newest graduate of the Donald Trump Grind Set University. You will join other based rulers such as Alistair and Balin, and I hope you make Starkhaven great again and mage-free, my boy. Let's let these robes meet the maker that is Sandal to face judgment.
Well, it's time to say goodbye to our big bro Varric again, at least for a month or so, until we meet him again in Inquisition.
One of the biggest positives of Dragon Age is you never really say goodbye to Varric for good, between the expanded universe. In the next 2 games, we have plenty of content left with our big bro.
I still think there should have been 2 dwarves in Inquisition. But that's not to disparage Varric's base presence. The Inquisition needs a party dad just as badly as the Dragon Age 2 squad does. The only downside I will say about this goodbye from Varric is that it's the same regardless of the Templar or mage side. And just like Sebastian's views, Varric forms his opinions based on Hawk's decision here, and carries this with him into Inquisition, at least passively.
Varric, one day POTUS will invite you and Hawk to the base Tapsters meetup predicted by our goated artist Tiggar. You and Bianca leave no demon in 2 or Inquisition alive. You are the secret boss slayer after all. Now to move on to our not-so-secret mage hater, Fenris. I can't lie, you are probably the best elf in the entire series, and I don't even think our elf inquisitor can live up to your sheer edgy aura. Enjoy sitting on the throne as the strongest DA2 companion, and the only DA2 companion to get their own personal visual novel that you don't share with other companions.
I guess that means Gator's book world state. Either sides with the Templars in 2, or he is best friends with Fenris in all of his playthroughs. I know you're about to spew more mage hate that makes me want to become a professional eye roller, but I am glad you get to be bricked up like my buddy Donald here while killing mages and having a victory lap with Isabella after.
Now the battle awaits us.
Well, thanks to Hawk's bloody campaign in 2, we have more or less taught Fenris that a bullet in the head of a mage solves everything, and he will go on his own revenge spree in the visual novel Blue Wraith. Thanks for the base Tevener lore that paved the way for Dorian, and for having an absolute goated voice actor. Oh, damn, now it's time to say goodbye to my mommy boys. I don't think my body is ready.
Zesty Obama strikes again. Thanks for being our tank when POTUS retired. Big girl, you definitely have carried all 3 of us out of some tight fights, and have earned your retirement into the Hall of Goated Companions.
Enjoy being another based grind set ruler along with our last true tank, Alistair. You truly are the biggest thick girl in the business. Take it away now, Obama. Tell her how you really feel.
All right, fuck it, I'll do this without Jazz this time. Eveline, I would follow you into 100 fade sequences to be by your side. I would solve 100 more Asterium puzzles just to get your number. And I would sit through an entire watch of Veilguard cutscenes with no combat in sight just to be close to you. You are my tank and my girl, and even as we go into Inquisition, I will never forget you.
All right, that was beautiful, Barry. I'm glad you got to do that. I'm not sure what Donald has planned asking the guard to help the Templars, but I'm sure it was nefarious.
I simply want as much armed men curbing the mages as possible, Sleepy. Anyways, now it's time to say goodbye to Carver. I still wish you were Bethany, you goddamn asshole, but you are probably the 5th best current warden I know. So good job with that.
All right, I guess that is the best we are going to get from Donald when it comes to Carver. Well, man, we are good as long as you stay away from my cutie patootie and focus on killing Darkspawn.
Well, I am glad we got to reconcile with Carver before the end. Also, this has nothing to do with Carver, but I've noticed that the goodbyes in Dragon Age 2 have already tied with the length of the Origins goodbyes. And we are not even done yet. That's pretty crazy to think about since Origins had 9 companions instead of 8.
Well, it's only one less companion because this game fumbled and doesn't give us a chance to say goodbye to Carter before the end.
That really helps reaffirm that Bioware stopped caring about the Mabari more, and more considering they barely exist in Inquisition, besides that one trespasser scene with Cullen, and that one camp of assassins in the Storm Coast. Anyways, Joe, before we say goodbye to your waifu, can you use your ability to do that one thing we talked about?
Oh, sure thing, Barry. It's Joe Ever.
Oh, god damn it. So even in death, we can't escape the healer rogue preaching on his soapbox? Bro is even talking about wanting to die even now, and still most people let him live. I just don't.
Think there's nothing inherently wrong with using piss bombs on useless Grand Clerics. We should wait for the Templar body cam footage to come out before passing judgment. Anders is a goated character.
Thank you again for getting us back on track, Justice. Anders, buddy, you have been a goated support the last 2 games. And if it were up to me, we would still be fighting for mage freedom together. I guess we will have to free the mages in Inquisition in your honor.
We are due for another mage choice. But let's save that for our actual playthrough, shall we, Joe? I just wanted to show that vengeance can side with the Templars with the rivalry path we chose on our playthrough. But it's extra dark as he alludes to wanting to take his own life after going through with this, so I didn't have the heart to do that to him.
Oh yeah, because punishment and penance is supposed to be easy, right? It seems like the perfect consequence for a mage extremist like the healer rogue. Press F once again to side with the Templars, boys.
All right, now back to our current timeline, because it's time for the moment we have all been waiting for, giving a passionate, an intense goodbye to our cutie patootie and letting her know that no matter what attacks us or threatens you, Hawk will be walking in front to shield her the whole way. Meryl, these moments in this series have been the most intense and fully meaningful moments of my entire life. I will never forget you, and every step I make in this series from here on out is for you, my love.
I hope you carry the strength of the Saber clan with you throughout the next step of your journey.
Thanks for being less terrible than the healer robe and for letting us kill cool tree pit bulls and pride demons. Joe, I'll pass the controller to you for this.
Ooh, that was perfect, Mommy.
Well, now with every companion given the final send-off, it's time to invoke the right and get down to the bloody and brass tasks of killing every single mage for a girl who took about 6 puffs of that red lyrium pack while we did our Origins-style goodbyes.
You know, the rite of annulment is so extreme that ordering it should also cause the current Knight Commander to step down from their position after it's carried out. I mean, it's supposed to be a last resort. When all else fails, it should reflect the Knight Commander too.
Stop trying to come for our Knight Commander's job. She is the peak example of what a Templar should be, and only was nerfed by Red Lyrium. Mommy Meredith, you don't need to sell me on this. You already have my attention and my erection.
No, Joe has a point, though. In the first almost 700 years of its establishment in the Circle, the rite has only been carried out 17 times, before the events of the Dragon Age games. Anyways, Donald, good picks for the final team, but I am a little surprised you picked Merrill and Varric over, say, Fenris or Isabella.
I know my mage-hating squad will still be on backup for the final bosses, and I figured I would give Joe his waifu, and our big bro Varric hasn't been our day one to not be brought to the last fight. Also, I am not an expert at this game, but I am pretty sure these instructions don't come into play, since our party only helps us with the final bosses, not the regular fights.
If you side with the mages, everyone does hold the line with you for the first segment, which is why this dialogue is here. I guess no one thought to patch it out.
I'm not sure every step leads me closer to the Maker, but I know trouble, and this is it. I can't say for certain that going in there is right, but I know it's needed right now.
Anyways, time for a trademark talk speech. What did we think, boys?
It was all right, but Hawk is definitely no Commander Shepard. He definitely could use a teleprompter.
It's because we're not playing my version of Hawk. My speech would have been elevated at least 200%, boys. Anyways, I noticed we don't have any siege tools or battering rams to break down the Portcullis Gate. So either we have Talus's reality-bending magic, or the Templars bashed their armor against the gate till it opened.
Now look who is overanalyzing cutscenes. That's how I know you are really invested.
I'm going to assume the first one also looks like that first girl didn't get a chance to stop them. Everyone here needs the Warcaster feat immediately.
Don't give our enemies tactical advice. I am the one playing right now.
Donald, are you that worried about losing your tie with me that you don't want the mages to get any tactical advice? That might spice up the gameplay or give us a halfway interesting fight.
Stop trying to get in my head, Obama. I am already at a disadvantage since I guess all the Templars that were fighting the robes dipped or died or something. Why did these guys even go first if Hawk was going to do all the work themselves without the rest of the squad even?
Well, in chess, the pawns go first, Donald.
Shut up, Joe. Just because you're old enough to be Magneto doesn't mean you have the aura to be. And we are not the goddamn Brotherhood of Evil for doing a base Templar's work.
We literally do a last man standing on the other side of the coin siding with the Templars, but whatever, go off Queen.
Well, while you ponder on that one, Nerd Bama, I have another question for you that I have had for the entire episode.
I thought you wanted me to let you cook, but now you're asking me for game details anyway. I didn't know playing hard to get was your idea of foreplay.
Damn, boys, I know being sus was on brand, but usually I'm the only one who gets to play with Donald like this. Just go ahead and ask your question, Double D.
Both of you sus liberal queens can lick my nuts, but back to my question. Obama, I've been noticing this entire episode that certain enemies have turned blue and become allies for a few seconds, but it always wears off. Is that some kind of mod or console command you enabled, or did we pick up some kind of new spell that I missed?
Well, it's a lot more simple than a mod or a cheat code, Donald. The sword that we got from Hybris is called Glandivalis. In addition to being a great demon slaying longsword with its high attack and electricity damage, it also has a 2.5% chance to enslave enemies. This makes them our allies for about 15 seconds, and with enough attack speed that 2% happens more often than you would think. It's incredibly useful for normal boss fights, but it has a massive downside when using it against boss enemies. The sword can enslave bosses, which can be an issue since boss-level enemies tend to have large health point bars. When enslaved, they can't be attacked, and some will regenerate health when not under attack, which can create a loop where the boss heals, then becomes an enemy again, then heals, causing an infinite fight on Nightmare if you don't unequip the sword.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like hell. But I feel like that is a very rare situation given how late in the game we get this sword, and the fact elite bosses are immune to the blood control effect, so we don't have to worry about it.
Plus, the sword looks sick as hell. It's a gold-trimmed handle and a curved sword in classic Hammerfell fashion. Speaking of Elder Scrolls, though, the sword looks kind of familiar for some reason, but I can't put my finger on it.
The sword shares the same model as Vigilance from Awakening, aka the chosen sword of the one true goat POTUS. I can't remember if I brought this up or not, but originally Vigilance was supposed to be available in Act 3, wielded by a lone Antivan Crow on the Wounded Coast to match the ending slides of Awakening. The stats would have also matched how the Warden had Wade make them, something that I believe ultimately killed the idea because there were too many variables to keep track of, as well as the fact that all of these stats would have to be balanced to be usable in Dragon Age 2, since the stats in Awakening would make a pretty pitiful sword on its own.
That's a pretty lame excuse, so something tells me it was just the victim of the 16-month development cycle. If Dragon Age 2 had a little bit more time in the oven, we could have continued the legacy of Master Wade and given the sword the screen time it deserves.
I would shit on Dragon Age 2 more, but killing these mages in a single file line is the most fun I've had since making that deep fake of Obama getting arrested.
Dick move doing that. By the way, now a few hundred Facebook moms think I am the second president to ever get arrested behind Donald Trump.
Ow, cutting up an old wound, low blow Obama. Now I have to blow the backs of these surrendering robes while they are on their knees to get back at you.
Heavy pause.
Donald, they are surrendering. I am pretty sure killing them is a war crime.
Yeah, and I already said that with mages, the Geneva Convention are just Geneva suggestions, so looks like the robes are out of luck. Just because they didn't resort to blood magic, likely because of a skill issue, doesn't mean they deserve any more mercy than every other Kirkwall robe. They should just be fortunate that we give them a quick execution instead of the Alric Ditty special.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know why every episode I have to bring up Clause 5, Section 17, a non-violent blood mage that is no threat to you, gets one chance at mercy.
But they are saying they aren't blood mages. Isn't that some kind of loophole?
It applies to all mages, since I know you think every mage is just a blood mage that hasn't slit his wrists yet.
God damn it, fine. Enjoy a 10x8 cell where the rest of you belong. I have a date with your brothers and sisters anyway. This doesn't affect my mage kill counter reaching in the hundreds off this game alone, so consider all of you incredibly lucky.
Damn, Donald, the character growth is insane. You no longer want to torture or commit war crimes on the mages. Now you just want to kill them. That is some beautiful progress right there. I like this Donald fusion.
Bite me, Joe. If I had enough time to set it all up, I would run all of these mages through the Saw Gauntlet personally, with fitting trials for each of their crimes, but killing all of them at once is hard work, so a few of them are going to slip through the cracks. Also, what the hell is going on with Cullen? 2 days ago, this dude was using the word mage like a slur. Now he's talking about mercy?
I believe that's what being a Templar is about.
And I say we are here to protect the people. We must be judges.
You know, everyone has gone too far when Cullen starts preaching for mercy. Dude was originally a Dexter serial killer of mages.
It is a bit sudden considering how he has otherwise acted against mages because of the horrors he saw in the Ferelden Circle. But siding with the Templars does give him somewhat of a bridge as to why he eventually leaves the Order and joins the Inquisition, since if we sided with the mages, all we see is him siding against Meredith, not questioning the Order.
Why the fuck is this robe smiling like that? Don't make me regret sparing your ass.
Meredith is starting to look like a Karen when the manager tells her the same thing a store employee did a minute ago. Anyway, Donald, are you ready to get double-teamed by 2 pride demons at once?
I'm not going to say it.
Oh, please, they are Dragon Age 2 pride demons. This is going to be the easiest fight of my life. Look at them, they don't even leave their stupid 4 circles. They are just going to stand in place and jump up and down in slow motion, like Gorilla Grodd until I put them down. Why did you make me go down this side passage, by the way, Obama? Did you just want to look at the pride demons one more time?
Oh, right, it's because there is an absolute metric ton of unique loot in these side rooms that some players might find useful in their own playthroughs of the game. You can freely loot both Meredith's and Orsino's room in the hallway back there. Each of them have pieces of unique jewelry. Meredith's room has a Templar band which gives health regeneration and magic resistance. Orsino's room has the Mark of the Fallen Ring which gives attack and crit chance, and also the Amulet Dreamcatcher which gives extra mana and a massive 400 spirit resistance.
Okay, cool, but then why am I here getting rammed by 100 shades instead of just looting the boss's room and packing up sticks?
Well, on the skeleton there's a final unique piece of equipment. It's a shield of the Resolute which gives extra armor and magic resistance.
So is this better than what Aveline already has on her then? Like, is this the improvement of the DLC shield?
Not really, I just wanted to give the viewers an in-depth guide and give you a longer fight for the content.
You're a goddamn dick, Obama, and it's not going to work, because I will clear out the Shade gangbang easy money and then go back to killing robes.
All right, well, while we are warming up more for our Inquisition series, why don't we go over a few more shout-outs from our base community? I will even go first. Thank you to Nick KC and Diabo Enos, who said their favorite moment is how I absolutely dog-walked the Aeroshock Deathless with my killer spell combos, and bombs that made him stunned longer than a fish out of water. Also, thank you to Heck4314, who said their favorite moment was similarly when I made Donald admit that I won the 2020 election.
That crime will never be forgiven. Sleepy, you will be haunted by your sins for the end of your days. The only just payment is some based Donald Glaze. Thank you to Private Penguin, who said their favorite moment in the series is my growing appreciation for this game, especially enjoying the based character arc for the based human noble Sebastian. And now my appreciation for this game is reinforced by killing all these filthy robes.
Beautiful character arc as always, Donald. I think I have one more in my shout-out roster too. Thank you to Puttyman, who just last week caught up fully to our series, which we know is a massive endeavor, so that alone is based. They also said their favorite moment in our series is our lore yaps, and how much they have learned so far in our series thanks to all the massive yaps we have every episode. We are so glad we can teach people new things they didn't know about our favorite game. It's one of our favorite parts of this series. We have one or two more shout-outs to get into, but for now we should get back into the gameplay.
Not too much to get into now. We're just doing the final push before the bosses that we have to do on either side of the war.
And as always, there's one dirty robe healing himself with blood magic by sucking us off, and another mage hiding in the corner with his barrier, just like every other Tevinter robe before you. And now look, the robes and Templars are praying together in some kind of disgusting act of bonding. Now they will all share the same fate.
Looks like they were praying to a desired demon that's pretty based I can't lie. Maybe their prayers reach the Maker. And Sandal, and we will see them again in Inquisition.
Wait, shit, hang on. Is this the last desired demon we will face in our series?
Pretty much. After this fight, I was going to say that Joe should take the wheel, since that should make the times even out more or less. So Donald, consider this your final fight in Dragon Age 2.
Well, then it's time to end this fight with a bang and let all the viewers know that Obama tied with me in the Dragon Age 2 competition. After I pour one out for the desired demon, of course. Because without these purple beauties existing in our game, I don't know what's going to keep the demons in business, honestly. Lord knows I would have retired already if there's no desired demons to impress by fighting the mortals.
Maybe that's why Solas really wanted to sunder the veil. He realized the world he had to exist in no longer had demon ass and huzz.
Joe, don't give the egg any justifications. He deserves every ounce of shit flung his way. Although fine, you do have something of a point here. I might open the veil up a little wider if these things were on the line.
Desired demons aren't some lost, forgotten secret that will restore Dragon Age to what it once was. They are just an enemy type that has a few special abilities. The Pride Demon, if anything, is the most iconic of the types since he was originally at the top of the hierarchy. It's also Donald. What the hell is going on in the kitchen during your last fight? Hawk just goddamn died.
Oh damn, this might be the dagger. He has 2 whole blood mages left to kill this. Is looking sus. Donald, what's your plan here? Or are you going to face tank more blood magic?
Goddamn overpowered hemorrhage. I should have revamped the spirit resistances on everyone if I knew they could goddamn one-shot everyone in the squad. It's fine though, all I need is one of them to finish these mage assholes off. And Aveline, move. Fuck. No.
Well, just like that you are ahead in the Dragon Age death competition again, how does it feel, Donald?
No way, that doesn't count. I was distracted by the Desire Demons and their lack of appearance in Inquisition. We are still tied.
Not how it works, Donald. You died, which means you have 7 deaths in this game, and 12 deaths overall.
Wow, good for you. Sleepy Joe can count to double digits. Your voters must be so proud. I don't have to sit here and take this, though soon you all are going to pay. Pokeball, go.
For the last goddamn time, I am not a Pokemon. But from the looks of things, a Trubbish was here recently, based on how much trash was thrown across the battlefield. So looks like you pulled a red card and left me to kill these disgusting blood robes.
Oh hey Justice, you're getting so much screen time this episode we might have to start calling you Carver. At this point it might as well be Presidents and Spirits Play Dragon Age.
Also, did you just call mages robes? Isn't that normally Donald's thing? What's the deal there?
Stop overanalyzing my spirit dick, Obama. And as for you, Joe, I am just giving the people what they want. The viewers love me and my excellent tactical breakdown. Like the fact I have already killed the slutty demon, and now we only have 2 mages left in the Templars, but my party is fully alert. The key is to use the bombs Horror and Dispel to cull the cowards into submission, while using the Goat Varric to kill the large-scale mage threats.
Fair enough, but that wasn't nearly as detailed as the last time he took over in the Deep Roads. It's also what the hell is the rest of the squad doing in the corner? It looks like they are fusing with the destroyed wood pieces, trying to make a more disturbed entity than biblically accurate Mega Dragonite.
Speaking of giving the fans what they want, Justice, I think you got your own viewer comment submission. Want to give it a go?
Sounds like easy goddamn money. Let's see here. Thank you to our longtime viewer, George Gale, who has been in this series longer than even I have. They said their favorite moment in the series is the plot line between mine and Donald's deal, which I'm glad we were able to subtly deal despite Donald's big mouth. I'm glad me being able to experience this world is interesting lore and makes this series interesting for you. Hope you are enjoying the finale, man. And you know what? Fuck it. This isn't an official comment question, but let us know who you all sided with in the Mage Templar war down below for that added engagement.
All right, you and Donald have definitely fused. You went from wanting to fight for mages and more screen time to asking for YouTube engagement.
We definitely encountered another glitch. because Aveline and Varric both stopped focusing on attacking enemies and instead started working on their cardio jogging in place, trying to use the on-fire door during an emergency. Anyways, that calls it for the fight. Let's hand the keys to Joe.
Actually, I was thinking about staying on for a while. Donald could use the rest, and I think now is my real chance to make a mark on this series by...
Praise be enchantment. Here is our young lord now displaying a mere 2% of his power, killing demons even faster than the Inquisitor can.
I figured this powerful feat of Sandal would wake Donald up. And with that, it should be a perfect point to close out Donald's time in Dragon Age 2.
Goddamn a pride demon, 2 desired demons, and a dozen abominations now that is a crazy kill list.
Just like the ogre frozen in carbonite, it is a mere fraction of what the young lord is capable of. His eyes are on you, Joe. Don't let him down.
Don't worry, I am locked in. I need to finish my favorite game strong here.
So I have a question, Obama. After this final episode is done, are we getting right into Inquisition? Because it sounds like our lazy editor is going to take a break or something.
Well, we still have to finish my Dead Space series.
Joe, we are on Chapter 10. That's like 1 or 2 episodes max. I'm talking about when are we starting the real meat of Inquisition proper.
So after the finale, our editor is going to take a week to edit together the movie with the drinking competition. Then, of course, we have the last 2 episodes of Dead Space and the Dead Space movie to release. After that, our editor wants to do 2 massive projects before the start of Inquisition, one a non-Dragon Age video featuring all of us. Then a massive Dragon Age video not featuring us.
Not featuring us? Isn't this our channel or something? How does that work?
No, Joe, you confused cuck. This is still our editor's channel. He just pays us to bring in the views and subs.
Wait, you guys are getting paid? How long has this been going on?
Don't worry about that now, Joe. It's time to confront Orsino, then beat his ass. Thanks to the Templar fight, you get back-to-back boss fights here.
Look at him, he's become a filthy blood mage just like the rest. Meredith, rip his balls off and sell them to the nearest Krogan.
Wrong series, Donald. Anyways, this is the main reason I wanted to side with the Templars, because this is the only way we get the full story about Orsino's treachery and all this. If we side with the mages, he makes a comment about Quentin's research, but we aren't able to press him about it like we are if we side with the Templars. We even have extra evidence back in Act 2 about his treachery, since we found the letter from a man named O. He was not only aware of what Quentin was doing, but that he was fascinated by it.
This path also proves my goat Fenris right. When backed into a corner, all mages reveal who they truly are. If there's anything you take away from this series, viewers, is that if they cast spells, they lie. Put that shit on a shirt.
Well, now it's time to pick this treacherous nerd up by his ankles and dunk him in a toilet till he can't yap anymore. This is for Mama Hawk, you knife ear, and wait, what the hell is he doing?
Jesus Christ, that thing is horrifying. It's like if Nurgle fucked the alien from Alien vs. Predator.
Honestly, just seeing this thing gives me flashbacks of Origins, and not in a good way.
Wait, this thing is in Origins? Am I becoming Sleepy Joe because I don't remember this gigantic inflation monster existing in my goated POTUS journey?
Yeah, of course you don't, because it was during my special episode that you skipped.
Oh shoot, you talking about the special episode reminds me of Avengers Assemble.
Oh shit, it's that big ugly bastard that took 3 whole dwarves to kill. Hopefully you can clutch up again, boys, with only 1 dwarf in tow.
Damn, not only are we fighting one of the biggest railroaded moments in Dragon Age history, but we are also fighting one of the only creatures I would pass on in the smash or pass tier list of Dragon Age boys.
I am already severely regretting being in a room with you again, Horny Bill. I thought after Witch Hunt we could be civil. But now I want to roll with advantage with my belt.
You don't really mean that you love me, Georgie, anyways. Boys, did you already go over how much of a railroad this fight normally is? Because not only is it acting brain dead while you beat the shit out of it, but the writing here, if you side with the mages, is also equally brain dead.
Yeah, I didn't really get into it yet, but that was well put, Bill. This Orsino fight happens regardless of what side you pick in the war. For the Templars, it makes sense. Meredith and Hawk pushed through his defensive line, and he was left alone hoping to take the Templars with him at least. If you side with the mages, however, you would be holding the line with Hawk, Orsino. But after repelling one wave and taking some unnamed mage casualties, Orsino will throw his hands up in the air and say, "We can't win, I must use Quentin's research," before becoming a harvester. We then have to fight both Orsino and the few extra Templars with our whole squad of companions. Orsino, of course, ends up doing more damage to his only ally, Hawk, than the Templars themselves. It's probably the stupidest scene in the entire game.
It's stupid, but that's the kind of treachery I expect from a rogue, especially a rogue that feels no shame asking for Hawk's help after he knows he could have saved our mothers and a lot of old ladies' lives if he spoke up about Quentin.
I always took this as Orsino not only being an incompetent leader, but maybe Varric is over-exaggerating here like he did during the Bartrand encounter. Like maybe he made Orsino a disgusting necromancy monster of pure evil, because Orsino was pure evil in his eyes for helping Quentin, and his actual death was very anticlimactic.
How could a base dwarf come up with such a fat and vile and fat idea as this harvester right here?
You had a good theory, Joe, but unfortunately we call that in the Dragon Age business as Varric-Cope syndrome. Explaining away clear plot holes by Varric being the narrator is fun, but it doesn't get into the root of the problem. The real reason why this boss fight is here, as someone who was in the writing room when it happened, is clear. Say it with me, boys.
EA demanded another boss fight in Dragon Age.
Wait, really, this entire long-winded fight is just because some publisher decided the game would be more fun with an extra boss fight writing, be damned.
Pretty much that and EA had promised that the Varderol, which we fought in the Witch Hunt DLC, and the Harvester would be new enemies that we would face in Dragon Age 2. The Varderol had a nice, more accurate stage, and quests to be featured in, but they never figured out a place to put the Harvester naturally, so they rushed last minute to place it into the second-to-last boss fight, and made sure to make it mandatory for both sides. The worst of all, this fight isn't nearly as thematic or interesting compared to the original fight in Origins. The undead this time around are a joke. There's no new Fade Wells. And the Harvester's damage, as well as the Undead's damage, has been toned down significantly due to the lack of symmetrical gameplay, so now it's just a bore.
Yeah, I seem to recall you needing a strategy as well as needing to kite around the map, and even swap the color of the map to change his resistances. And the cliffhanger they gave at the end of the DLC, they could have had a really good story point for these guys.
You are definitely on the right track, Georgie. On one hand, I kind of vibe with this fight being easier than Origins. Amarak was meant to be a challenge for hardcore players, and that time we were fighting a harvester that was locked in the tide for hundreds of years, and learned how to use the lyrium wells to its advantage, so we were fighting an ancient monster in its own lair. While Orsino just became a flesh golem 2 seconds prior, and probably needs time to adjust.
That just smells like Cope to me, boys. Sure, Amgarak had a more thematic setting, if you can call it that, but that just means Dragon Age 2 should have taken more time to make the Harvester fit into the game in the ways Bill and George described, rather than just the rogue going crazy and giving up.
Yeah, this fight, if you are on the mage's side, is basically the Dragon Age equivalent to flipping the table when you were losing Monopoly.
Yeah, we're throwing the goddamn brand new Switch 2 Joy-Con at the TV because you were losing a Mario Kart race Joey.
George, that was 2 months ago and Barry already paid you back. I don't know what I can do that doesn't involve being on my knees to make it up to you.
Heavy pause.
Well, there's even more positions you can do off your knees, Joey, if you want a few suggestions.
What?
Okay, mega pause. We are changing the subject now. Well, the one positive I can say about this fight is the implication that the Harvester can create the living dead with the nearby corpses that Orsino used to blood sacrifice. Then when enough corpses are killed, he can combine all of them back to create another flesh golem suit.
Wow, so you're telling me this Harvester thing is the fantasy equivalent of the power of recycling. I need to write down the concept of a recycling mage for my next D&D campaign.
Oh boy, well, since you're taking D&D ideas, I have a concept that would make me interested in joining the table again. A tavern girl with big naturals that every time you roll a nat 20 on the Riz check, she multiplies herself into an equally interested tavern girl. I think that would really benefit unique charisma builds.
You're still banned from my table for suggesting shit like that, horny Bill. Don't push your luck, I still have beef with you.
Well, I have some beef for you too, George. Maybe it would be better if we just all let it out. I think we will be much less unburdened.
All right, you two are bickering too much and are sentenced to a bonding experience immediately. As punishment, why don't you do some shout-outs from last episode? And some super thanks agreed?
All right, sure thing, Obama. That is being generous. Sorry again, I just like pushing your buttons, Georgie. Thank you to Chili Adu, who says their favorite moment in this series is watching the romantic cuck adventure of Barry in Act 2 with Aveline, which was a base choice not only because I was a special guest for a quest helping Obama's romantic bars, but because Aveline's quest is incredibly lore relevant. Thank you for your comment and hope you're enjoying the finale, man.
All right, good work, Bill. I guess it's my turn with the super thanks since we have 2 more later entries for the based romance competition. Thank you for the $25 from Puttyman for Cassandra. I don't know her personally, but given Obama's description, that's a base choice. We also have $50 from a long-term donator, Mr. Sitbox, split between Josie and Cassandra evenly. Thank you all for the incredible support of the channel, and good luck in the waifu wars.
All right, good work. I think our base community unified them, and we can get back to the gameplay.
It's really hard to call it gameplay sleepy. It's more like active slaughter of the rejected cast of Left 4 Dead that in life was a treacherous elf.
I'm actually incredibly pissed right now because why did he regain an entire new health bar after I already destroyed his health bar twice?
Joe, the dementia cannot be hitting this hard. Obama just said he uses the bodies of all the skeletons we killed to get a new golem body.
Yeah, but while it's a nice touch from an environmental perspective, from a gameplay perspective, this fight, is the same first stage we fought before, so let's cut ahead here.
Well, even if this fight is pretty basic, I am sure we at least get some good loot and a unique kill animation for our Trouble Right boys.
Well, we get his snake staff and a decent ring, but not anything too crazy or good for this late in the game. The staff has a cool design, though, if someone likes it. But we can also get it in Inquisition if we just like the design.
As for the unique kill animation, well, that's also out of the books instead of a unique kill cutscenes like most other in-game bosses. We kind of just yank the Harvester's head off and curb stomp it like we are in Dead Space.
I guess Hawk graduated from the Isaac School of Curb Stomping. Still zapping it with a fireball, if we are a mage, would have gone way harder.
Well, so far, no deaths, Joe. You are doing great. And you only have one more fight between you and the end of the game. Also, since we sided with the Templars, we can buy some extra potions and items before the confrontation with Meredith.
Oh wait, so that's the Meredith girl that Donald has been gooning over since the Legacy special. Wait, weren't we just fighting with her? Why is she pulling a Game of Thrones betrayal right now in the final act? Seems like a total plot hole.
Well, the writers realized that Orsino wasn't going to be a satisfying final boss for either side. So they instead made Meredith the final boss because she has been huffing red lyrium.
I am beginning to wonder just how large your part in all this actually was.
Yeah, the Red Lyrium plot line is probably one of the better done stories in this game. They introduced it in Act 1, revealed it was sold in Act 2. And then we see references to Meredith's paranoia for the entirety of Act 3 before revealing it's because she bought the statue.
Wait a minute, this Templar has the idol that turned a base dwarf against his family? Despite nothing being more important than family? This Templar must die for the sins Bartrand committed. That idol cannot be allowed to exist in the mortal realm.
Mommy Meredith, why are you suspicious of me? I thought we had a true mage hate bonding. Don't do this, it isn't you. We could have held hands and curbed the rest of the robes together. You were meant to destroy the demons, not join them.
Knight Commander, I thought we intended to arrest the champion.
Colin, why on earth were you on board with arresting us? Not only would the rest of your Templar army be flattened by a forced singularity, but we have been nothing but an ally to you this whole time. What are you arresting us for?
Yeah, I don't think I am comfortable making Cullen our military advisor if he thinks trying to arrest the guy who won the Arashok. An out-maged and ancient Tevener mage is a good idea. Maybe we could get Garble the captain from Awakening a shot at the title.
Even I have no idea who that is better. But it looks like Meredith is submitting her application for the Dragon Age Best Crash Out competition. How would we rank this one on the tier list, boys?
I'd rank it middle of the line. I still think the first from Awakening and the Arashok are the finalists, but this is somewhere in the middle of the road. Really gives the vibe of a boss who's worked a shitty job for 20 years. And their final straw was some new hire clogging the store toilet.
Colin, telling the pissed off girl with an actual Sith lightsaber to stand down is probably the bravest and dumbest action Bro can take here.
My own knight captain falls prey to the influence of blood magic.
So yeah, we are diving deep into the mental breakdown with this one.
These gays, they're trying to murder me.
No one is getting that White Lotus reference, Bill, I guarantee it.
It does work, though. 75% of the squad, including Hawk himself, is confirmed bisexual.
Yeah, and the rest are bipolar. We all read the spark notes.
You'll have to go through me.
Idiot boy. Just like all the others.
Anyway, behold the true power of the Templars, boys. The Mage Hater domain expansion.
So is the sword like that 1,000-degree knife that cuts through stone and metal? And shit, because how do you pierce the sword through the stone and not damage the sword itself?
That's the power of Red Lyrium, George. It can make your eyes glow red, cut through anything, drive you insane, and alter reality.
And it also makes her goddamn fly and destroy the concept of mana from existence, apparently, since both me and Meryl have absolutely zero mana now.
Did you forget Mommy Meredith is still a Templar? That's just an average holy smite. You haven't seen anything yet, Sleepy.
I am so lost as to what is even going on during this fight, boys, like I know the statue was evil. And elevates emotions and has connections to Solus and Titans. But why the hell is it turning the human girl into a damn Sith right now?
I like how Carver only joined the fight when Meryl was being attacked. Bro is a D1 simp.
That's it, I warned you already. Donald, where do you keep the White House gun?
I always found this cutscene funny because you can tell she is already sweating right now. I imagine if she didn't have the Red Lyrium idol, this is where the fight would end for her.
Damn, with hops like that, she should consider a career in the NBA instead of a mage hunter.
Yeah, screw steroids. We need to get this Red Lyrium into all sports and elevate the game for everyone. Imagine getting a touchdown, then just making all the stands and statues come to life with reality-bending magic.
Yeah, can't lie, College Football 26 could have benefited with a little bit of Red Lyrium in a special mode. Sometimes our sports games need less realism and more fun EA.
It's kind of crazy. During our Origins playthrough, we were all yapping about College Football 25 because it took the sports genre by storm. Now, Football 26 is out and no one cares because EA is allergic to producing a good quality game.
No one cares about sports games anyway. They're all the goddamn same since no one wants to break the formula.
Joe, you're only saying that because you suck at sports games and sports in real life? Don't shit on something you can't even play. That's just proclaiming your skill issue.
I could beat your ass in golf. And in the Dragon Age death competition, the squad is all here backing me up for the giant statue fight, so Meredith is cooked here.
I'm sure Meryl and Fenris feel a small sense of pride here destroying the slave statues that celebrated Tevinter owning and brutalizing slaves.
That's probably relevant to something in real life, but I will be damned if I can figure out what you mean, Obama. Anyways, it's cool that Fenris and Carver are here, but aren't we missing a few people like my gorgeous pirate queen?
The allies come in a few different stages. Cullen, Varric and your sibling come in right at the start. Then Anders, Aveline, and Fenris next. Then finally Isabella, Meryl, and Sebastian start making their appearance after the guest cameos.
Damn, I know that's what we are, Obama Llama, but you could at least use our names. We are friends after all.
No, George, not us. He is talking about the few non-squad mates that can assist us in this fight if they did their respective side quests.
Yeah, I'm sure he will talk about one of them in particular. Ooh, fuck boys, now that Mommy Isabella is here, I feel so alive.
You know, Barry, while we are just here killing more statue mechs, I might as well ask, since you are the only one who knows every outcome. Obviously, if our sibling is a Grey Warden, they join us regardless. But what happens to both the siblings if they join the Templars or mages?
I can answer that question too. Why don't we take it in shifts, Obama? So if Carver joined the Templars, we can only get him as a squad mate if we side with the Templars ourselves. However, if we side with the mages, he will join Cullen in fighting against Meredith, since he won't kill his sibling.
Kind of a missed opportunity to not have a little bit of drama with Carver confronting us. Maybe we would have needed to do his Act 1 quest or pick the right dialogue first.
I am pretty sure you are just saying that because you want an extra chance to kill Carver. But considering the options we get for Bethany, you may have a point. So if Bethany is a circle mage, same as Carver, we only get the option for her to be a squad mate if we side with the mages. However, if we side with the Templars, we do get a few different ways to confront Bethany. She will be in the room cowering during the Orsino fight. And after we kill him, we can confront her with Meredith, to which Bethany will assume we are here to kill her too. We can spare her in which she is arrested by the Templars, or we can pull a dark urge and kill her there and now.
Yeah, I am a Templar main every day of the week, but I promise you I have never executed Bethany ever. Kinda crazy she can't break out and pull up for Hawk during this final fight. Though I guess that is the one positive to siding with Carver. He gives you more options to pull up with the proper Hawk bloodline smoke.
I guess that is the most appreciation we can expect from Donald when it comes to Carver. Anyways, boys, the fight is over halfway over, and I barely had to use healing potions or anything. I know it might be a minute or two early. But last I counted, Obama, you had 6 deaths, and Donald, you had a whopping 7 deaths. While I am sitting pretty at only 4 deaths, I think it's safe to say I have won this death competition, so I think it's time to collect my payment.
What? No, absolutely not. You could still die twice at the ass end of this fight. I know you counted the 2020 election early, but that is not happening here. I won't believe it till I see it.
Donald, you are inhaling copium harder than Meredith inhales Red Lyrium. Joe isn't likely to get a single death with this much of a battle royal, let alone 2 whole deaths.
Yeah, come on, Donald, you were a man of your word at the end of the Origin series. It's time to stand on business one more time.
Fuck no. The battle isn't over yet, so I am not giving in. I will make Dragon Age great again.
All right, well, I am man enough to go first anyway, so Joe, what waifu is the best in Dragon Age? You never made your stance clear?
It's hard to pick between my 2 loves of Dragon Age. But after doing the deed with her and it being perfect, I am going to have to go with Meryl. So let me hear her praises across the fade.
Did someone mention the fade?
Get the fuck out!
All right, well, now that the distraction is done, I can tell it to you proper. Cassandra and Aveline, your beauty transcends this mortal plane. But Meryl is a cute and passionate lore nerd and is the best romance in the Dragon Age series.
Goddamn, that felt so good to hear. Thanks for that, Barry.
Well, I hope you enjoyed selling your soul, Obama. I am not doing it till I see Meredith clutch up and run train on Hawk here. Also, where the hell are those guest cameos that are supposed to appear?
Yeah, I was fully expecting Zevron, Nathaniel, and even the sub-boy Donick to pull up during the fight. But I guess we encountered another infamous Dragon Age 2 bug because it's the end of the fight and they never showed.
Wait, Donick can show up here? Bro couldn't handle level 1 crooks at night? I am pretty sure Bro would die to Meredith just looking at him right now. Also, what the hell is happening, everyone? But Aveline and Hawk are stunned.
Actually, this isn't a glitch. The move Meredith uses to monologue at the party is technically a stun. Hawk, Aveline, Carver, and Varric all have DLC items that make them otherwise immune to stuns. So I guess we can just take her out while she is having her inner dialogue and last shred of sanity shedding away.
And now the game is over and I killed the final boss deathless, so say it with me, boys.
Blow me easy financial gain.
Damn, we really lost a legend today, boys. I am pumped that Dragon Age 2 is over, but it's always sad to lose the best Templar in the business. Press F for Meredith.
Holder F's Meredith is confirmed not dead.
The fuck you mean she isn't dead? She got frozen in carbonite after getting her shit rocked by the entire squad. How can someone survive that?
I don't know how someone can survive it, but Meredith did. As of the current timeline, she has become a red lyrium crystal entity, leading the rest of the Red Templars.
Between Corypheus and Meredith, Hawk really needs to learn to double tap because his track record isn't great.
Oh, look now, all the other NPCs want to see what happened after the threat is neutralized. You guys are really blemishing the base Templar name.
The tension in this scene is insane. Are they about to arrest us or riz Hawk up?
It's just a vibe check to make sure we have the temperament to be Viscount, and you already know we goddamn are. Hail to the king, baby.
Well, as Bran said at the start of the episode, the only way to the Viscount's throne is through the Templars' approval, which I would say we have fully earned now. One last achievement for our viewers siding with the Templars earns Hawk the crowning glory achievement for taking the Viscount's throne.
Well, before we get to the Varric storybook ending, why don't we dive into the custom ending slides we made for Dragon Age 2? Donald, you want to go first?
Days after the Mage Templar War, Jobadon Hawk was unanimously elected as Viscount, with the full support of the Templars and Guardsmen. With the streets of Kirkwall cleared of gangs, blood mages, and the Templars finally being united with the city guard, the city experienced months of peace previously unheard of. Hawk did not get complacent in this peace either. With the newfound Guard-Templar alliance, even the coterie was subdued, which not only gave Kirkwall space to rebuild, but to renew. With Hawk in charge, the Chantry and nobles flooded the keep with donations towards restoration, though decades later, the ground where the Chantry once stood still radiates magic and heat, a scar that will never leave the city.
With the smugglers in Kirkwall stomped out, Hawk turned to his former mercenary group, the Red Irons, with a proposition. Remove mercenaries in Kirkwall that not only threatened its citizens, but made profit on killing nobility for the grand game. Within a year, the Orlesian influence of Kirkwall waned and could join the ranks as a proud free march city. With the High Dragon slain, the Bone Pit was finally quiet. Thanks to his unending support of the miners months after the destruction of the Bone Pit, dozens of survivors were found and accounted for and slowly began reporting for duty now that Hawk was the sole owner. Hawk decided to turn the Bone Pit over to the city's control, which finally granted guardsmen patrols for protection. The Bone Pit was barren for almost a year before large deposits of Viridium were eventually discovered. Soon after, mining jobs began to flow throughout the city, and trade flowed through Kirkwall in ways that haven't been seen in an age. The caravans exiting Kirkwall with Viridium all bared the mark of the champion on them, and few dared raid them.
It wasn't long before Fainriel heard of the murder of the Saber clan. In searching the Fade, he learned his mother was among those slain by the champion. In Meryl's hand, Fainriel intended a swift death for Meryl and the Fade, but Hawk intervened. This time he would take full responsibility for what occurred that day entering the Fade, and battling Fainriel in his home territory alone for 3 days and 3 nights. Eventually, it wasn't Hawk's magic that won the day, but his tongue. He convinced Fainriel that he had no intention of murder that day, and that the Keeper and fear was what killed his mother, not Hawk. Fainriel begrudgingly called them even for saving his life twice and parted ways with Hawk. But the battle was not soon forgotten by the spirits that witnessed it. Their fight had led to the crossroads, and their battlefield would one day turn into a spirit marketplace that would aid in the assistance of another group of adventurers who would protect the Vale. In the aftermath of the Qunari attack on Kirkwall, in an unprecedented public display, the 2 remaining members of the Qunari ruling body traveled to Rivane and made a public statement denouncing the Arishok's invasion of Kirkwall. With the tomb of Koslan now returned, a new hornless Qunari was made Arishok. The new Arishok advocated for a renewed focus on battling Tevinter. When asked for a reason behind his new orders, he stated invading the south is only good for losing your sword, meeting flying darkspawn, and seeing elves that excel in poverty.
With the mages fleeing from Kirkwall, the Gallows held little more use than a prison for Templar arrests, namely Samson. He stayed in the Gallows only a month before an elderly Grey Warden sauntered into the prison claiming the right of conscription on Samson. Hawk and Cullen were otherwise engaged, so the young Templar recruit had little course but to agree to let Samson into his custody. The Templar later reported to Cullen that the last words he heard echoed from the Gallows were the warden saying, "Come, old friend, we have a fortuitous date with a dwarf."
Immediately after Meredith's defeat, Carver bid farewell to his brother, who noticeably took longer to say goodbye to Meryl. He reported back to his squad leader Nathaniel, who understood personally how important family matters are, but decided Carver was too hot-headed for his mission. Instead, Nathaniel transferred him to Amaranthine under the leadership of someone who could utilize Carver's blunt use of force. There, Carver met a crass dwarf who made Varric look sober, and had 3 times the attitude that Carver ever had, and he quickly whipped Carver into someone that Darkspawn would fear. When he asked the name of his new squad leader, he said the ladies pronounced it Augren. Aveline grew to become the most consistent and strong leadership force in the city. Some even whispered that Aveline was the real drive behind the Viscount's throne. Whenever Hawke would leave the city with Merrill, Aveline was quick to take over the day-to-day. While the other companions left the city one by one, Aveline always remained. Every night she would come home to her husband, and as she admired the Templar shield hanging from the fireplace, the world would feel still, even when the world was on fire. And she knew just who to thank for that. Aveline still hosts her dinner parties in Hightown every year. It's a tradition that would eventually be the only way Hawke's old group could still catch up. Without fail, Isabella would be in attendance, if for no other reason than to ask her if Donnic still arls her Eamon. To this day, Aveline's response is always the same.
Varric became Hawke's unofficial seneschal when he took over. He kept the Merchants Guild off Hawke's back while he was busy restoring the city. It wasn't long till the call of adventure lured Varric back in the game as King Alistair returned needing a ship and information. Varric, Isabella, and Alistair left for Antiva on a quest that took months and ended face to face with King Merrick. By the time Varric returned to Kirkwall, he found the Viscount's seat vacant with a note hidden in a way that only Varric's keen eye could see. He read it, laughed, and returned to the hangman to let Aveline and Bran sort this shit out. There he drank until two agents in black armor walked into his private room.
Despite Anders' crimes, Hawke and Varric still paid for a private ceremony. He gave Anders a proper and honorable Ferelden funeral. No one did ever learn if justice returned to the Fade. But after all he had done, Hawke didn't care enough to answer. Despite his death, Anders' revolution had begun more, and more circles rebelled, and he quickly became a martyr for the cause. It wasn't long before an old friend of his heard of Anders' death, and honor urged him away from his family to confront his killer. One day in the Viscount's keep, the guards were in uproar as none other than the hero of Ferelden appeared to see the Viscount. There in Hawke's office, two legends met. POTUS calmly, but firmly asked what happened to his friend, and out of respect, Hawke spoke plainly about everything Anders went through, how justice took him over and slowly changed him, how Hawke tried to convince him to fight this change to the end, and how Hawke only killed his friend out of mercy. By the end, the guards could hear the clinking of a mug and some laughter coming from the office. POTUS understood that his friend had changed, and he hoped that both his former allies found peace. Before POTUS left, he had one final question. What had happened to Anders' cat? Hawke saying he left it with an old friend was all the answer he needed. POTUS returned to Amaranthine and found Sir Pounce-a-Lot and brought him home with him. His son would be the only one powerful enough to raise such a noble beast. Somewhere he knew Anders was at peace, knowing Sir Pounce-a-Lot had a good home.
After the fires cleared from Kirkwall, it was clear that the pirate queen Isabella came out on top. She had a strong ship of crew and the full support of Kirkwall at her back. From there, she traveled, pillaged, and carried kings, knights, and adventurers on her new ship. Isabella always kept the lessons Hawke and Aveline taught her in the back of her mind. She knew that hero work wasn't just good for the soul, but it was good for her coin purse too. One day at sea, she saw the sky turn green and rip open, and she knew there was more hero work to be had as she ordered the ship towards the storm. Fenris stayed in Kirkwall just long enough to make sure the blood mages were put down and the innocent mages were returned to Templar custody. Less than a month after the war, however, he found himself needing purpose once again. Aveline offered him a spot in the guard, but Fenris had his eyes on a different form of justice. He hitched a ride on Isabella's ship and headed north back home. There he tracked down Daenerys' remaining family and heirs and took them down one by one, earning the title Blue Wraith. Once his personal business was settled, he turned his attention towards freeing those like him, hunting slavers in the forests of Arleth, and eventually even being hired by the Inquisition to hunt the Venatori. He never failed a mark as long as it was a mage. Sebastian, after hosting Althena's funeral, personally escorted her to Orlais so her ashes would be stored in the Grand Cathedral. Taking strength in the lessons Hawke taught him, he used this loss to fuel his conviction and goals in Starkhaven. With a secured alliance in Kirkwall, both cities flourished under Hawke's and Sebastian's leadership, both cities reaching previously unheard of levels of prosperity. Sebastian learned how to fight and watch mages from the best, and under Sebastian's enforcement of the Circle, the Starkhaven Circle never rebelled and stayed stable until the Divine's reform of the Circle 4 years later.
Hawke never did meet Talis again, but Talis still kept a watchful eye on him, and foiled more than one assassination attempt without Hawke ever being the wiser, when the Bene Gesserit were ordered to spy and sabotage the growing Inquisition army. Talis always conveniently forgot her orders, and unintentionally helped the Inquisition. This became a trend conveniently after noticing Varric and Hawke's involvement in the Order. While she never got to tell Hawke how she felt, she would often look up at the night sky and smile, hoping Hawke would be doing the same, and maybe in another life they would be watching it together. Also, shout out to our amazing artist Tiger, who drew this for us. I can think of no better slide to end these on. Merrill and Hawke never left each other's side, and Hawke fully embraced his role as her new family. Merrill encouraged Hawke to help her people during the Reconstruction, and Hawke obliged with a revolutionary proclamation. The elven alienage was allowed to carry weapons, and formed their own watch against crime that worked closely with the Guard. Orlais and neighboring cities were appalled, but none openly stood up to the champion. Meryl never did stop trying to repair the mirror, something Hawk knew was taking more and more out of her. The only solution was to find her a new artifact to help her people. Anytime Hawk had a free moment, he would take Meryl out adventuring with his trusty dog Carter, exploring lost elven ruins that would be farther and farther away from Kirkwall, but that became less and less important as their new home was on the road together. Pretty soon, the only people who knew where Hawk and Meryl were was his former companions, and the Dalish clans Hawk and Meryl would visit with gifts of new restored artifacts to protect. Their way of atoning what happened to the Saber clan. Well, that calls it for our custom slides. Why don't we let our big bro Varric tackle this last one?
Cry for all mages. A reminder of their brutal oppression. He'd shown not only what the Templars were willing to do, but that they could be defied. The circles rose up and set the world on fire. Here at home, the city all but got down on its hands and knees and begged the champion to rule. As for the rest of us, eventually we all left the champion's side for one reason or another. Well, all of us except for Meryl. You still hear the stories, of course. With each telling they grow, even if, at the core, remains the truth. A legend had been born.
Oh my God, my glorious Queen Cassandra. Next time I lay eyes on you, it will be time for Inquisition. Soon we will be together in the party, my queen.
Well, he may never lay eyes on Aveline again, but with Mommy Cassandra becoming the second to our Inquisitor, gooning is going to get worse before it gets better.
Sounds like we have something to look forward to, boys.
I think you mean something to dread, Bill.
Holy shit, I actually forgot you two were still here.
Yeah, well, you didn't give us a script hard to contribute, but we have come this far, might as well stay for the ending.
All right, can't blame you there. Also, the mages breaking free and the Templars rebelling sounds like a cool concept for an entire game. Surely this won't only exist in the first quarter of the game and never brought up again.
So many circles rebelling, so many chances for vengeance for the dishonest robes.
Yeah, we are really going to run into Inquisition with fist held high if Obama's previous statements still hold true.
Well, my opinion on this game has been elevated since playing it, so maybe Inquisition can endear me too.
Hawk being someone the Templars respect might be slightly too optimistic. You guys played him as relatively neutral stance-wise, showcasing both sides. So also, he is a fucking mage, but I didn't want to point out the obvious.
Most self-respecting Templars wouldn't listen to a rogue, but Hawk's aura is legendary enough to get a pass. Also, Varric passed the nat 20 on his final deception check. Hear what a legend.
Cassandra seems like a level-headed and calm individual. She only threatened to kill Varric 5 times.
If an issue does arise, I volunteer myself as tribute for any frustration you have, Cassandra.
I might have a limited understanding of this game, but there's no way a champion could die off screen. This isn't One Piece.
So here's where two big plot reveals happen. One is obviously this entire story took place in Hawk's mansion, which has been cleaned out 6 months later. So obviously not even Bodan and Sandal were here. And the second is both Cassandra and Liliana were originally looking for the Warden to lead an inquisition against the Mage Templar War. Then when he disappeared, they chose their second candidate, Hawk, who also disappeared. Now they are left with no leader and an emergency conclave brewing.
That is no coincidence.
I imagine this scene was a mindfuck to the 10 people who killed Liliana in their canon playthrough and saw her alive here.
Wait, hold on. Did someone say Liliana?
Oh, God damn it, Bill, that is definitely a trigger.
Oh, ha, my God, Mommy, it's like you never left. Please break my bardic bones and fondle my nightingales.
I would be more annoyed at this, but just seeing that symbol gets me pumped for the next game.
Oh, fuck boys, after seeing Liliana, there's only one thing left to do. Feel a song coming on, Bill. Spin that shit.
I'm now calling you a liar. Just don't lie to me. I'm now calling you a thief. Just don't steal from me. I'm now calling you a ghost.
Stop haunting me. Oh, I love you so more. Well, I'm gonna let you
kill me.
As a ghost in my arms, this soul is in my sleep.
Wraps itself around my tongue as it so awfully speaks that it walks
that it walks with my hand. To fall,
to fall,
to fall. Any other fate.
No more falling bricks, all go up.
And when it hits me, I'm happy not to die.
I'm now calling you a liar. Just don't lie to me. And I'll love you some more. I'm gonna let you.
Well, I'm not calling you a thief. Just don't. And all
so more something that you.
Oh,
I'm not calling your dog. Just
there's a ghost in my mouth that it talks in my sleep.
Rats and sapphire on my tongue as they talk, they speak. That it all walks,
that it all walks,
that it all walks. Wait my legs to fall,
to fall, to fall, to fall,
to fall, to fall. Or to fall,
to fall, to fall,
to fall, to fall,
to fall.
Any old fate, all won't fall apart of gold, gold by.
And when you kiss me,
I am happy.
Well, with that, we have successfully completed Dragon Age 2. It was longer than we thought, but it was over before we could imagine.
My favorite game might be finished, but we still have the absolute behemoth that is Dragon Age Inquisition and the challenge of Vilgard when we return to it.
Just like that, we are already more than halfway through the series. The mages might be free for now and the liberals ahead in the death competition, but Inquisition is my game and I am for sure going to prove it when I start things off right.
I'm sure Inquisition has plenty of base dwarves and even more base role-playing opportunities, so you already know your presidential dungeon master will be in attendance.
There's plenty of romance and songs in that open world game, so you already know I will be training in Lincoln's room for a big dramatic solo performance.
Oh shit, did I already miss the final battle, boys? I had this whole funny skit with the guest cameos and everything. Well, I guess I will have to save it for the next game later, boys.
Wait, Maury, I bought tickets to the Museum of Television and I want you as my +1 as the professional. Oh, God damn it, he is already gone.
Save it for Inquisition. Obama, just wrap us out here before someone starts crying.
Yeah, nice try, Donald. You still owe us something first.
What? No, I don't. The game is over. We are back where we began.
Donald, we are posting these to YouTube and Joe 1. You have to keep your word just like Origins.
God damn it, this is total bullshit. Fine. Mommy Morrigan, you will always have my heart, don't get me wrong, but Meryl is incredibly hot for an elf, and she is...
Go ahead and let it out, Donald.
Phrasing, please.
Fine. Meryl is the best romance in the series, and she is so incredible that she deserves to last forever happy in the ending slide panel, because it's perfect, just like her. They're happy?
Fuck yes, Daddy.
A perfect end to a perfect series. Now I am happy to close us out. So viewers, we didn't ask a comment question for this episode, but let us know your favorite Inquisition companion to build up some hype for the Inquisition content. Don't forget to leave a like for the champion of Kirkwall and a subscription to keep up to date on our latest content. If you would like video previews and updates or just a chill Dragon Age and gaming community, feel free to join Fox Discord. And for other based AI creator content, our editor is a verified creator of AI Force 1, along with President's Play, Game Producer 6, and other incredible creators that have really helped motivate and inspire our own AI series. Both links are in the description. If you made it through the Dragon Age 2 movie, you are a legend. And if you have fully caught up on this series, we thank you from the bottom of all our hearts. See you next time in Inquisition, but for now, stay safe. Obama out.
Trump out.
Biden out.